Hi, I'm Janelle from MyCase. In this video, the fourth in our billing and invoicing series, I will walk you through the process of batch invoice creation. Typically, at the end of a billing period, law firms will create multiple invoices to either review internally or to send to their clients instead of creating all of them one by one. MyCase offers a batch invoice creation feature that simplifies the process and saves a lot of time if you don't have any new work. To get started with this batch and billing, let's navigate to the billing dashboard and select Add Invoice, which takes you to create a new invoice screen from Open Balances. Since we are creating multiple invoices, let's check all of the boxes next to the clients we are making an invoice for. You have 3 options for selecting invoices and 2 filters that you can use to show only what you are looking for in this list. You can filter the list by a specific practice area, or you can also filter by lead attorney, or both. This reduces the total amount of clients and cases that are shown on the screen, depending on your firm and the filter selected. You can select all invoices by checking this box on the left-hand side to choose every client and case listed on this screen. Or you can select a client name to bill for all invoices for this individual client. Or you can simply select a case. The Batch Billing tab appears when we select more than one checkbox. We were going to use this window to set up various options for these invoices. It's important to note that any option you define here will be applied to all invoices selected in the previous step. You can filter the time and expenses entries by a date range, the due date, and payment terms, and add terms and conditions or notes. You can also add an adjustment such as a discount, tax interest, or addition by selecting the bottom under Adjustments. This is important because many firms like to use an interest late fee as an incentive to pay overdue invoices. For example, let's add interest and apply it to the balance forward total. We'll select 1% and include a note that this is a late interest fee for overdue balances. Under Invoice, you can share invoices by selecting the checkbox next to Share this invoice with. Then choose who you would like to share the invoice with. You can select Billing Contact Only or All Case Contacts. You also have the option to save invoices as a draft by selecting the Save as Draft checkbox. This creates a batch of invoices with a draft status. They cannot be shared during batch billing since they are intended to be reviewed before sharing. Many firms refer to this as pre-billing, where some firm members can review draft invoices and make changes before sharing them with the client. If you have online payments enabled, you must select which bank account you would like to have the payments deposited into. You can select the account by selecting the drop-down and selecting a bank account. This allows you to share the invoice with your client, view their invoice, and make a secure online payment through the client portal. You can also forward unpaid balances by selecting the checkbox next to Forward Unpaid Invoice Balances. This applies that 1% late fee that we created earlier. If you're using QuickBooks, we recommend you continue creating standalone invoices and refrain from using the balance forward option in batch billing. If you are using payment plans, they will show up on this list, assuming that the late payment plan date has passed and they still have an amount due. However, firms that have payment plans on invoices that won't have any new work need to be careful not to create a forwarded invoice because this will wipe out the payment plan. You can enable Applied Trust Funds in the Batch Billing menu. This also allows you to automatically apply the balance of the client's trust funds to all selected invoices in that batch. You can also choose how the trust account activity will be displayed on the invoice. Please note that the full balance of the trust funds available will be applied to the invoice if the client has less in their trust than the invoice. The invoice will be created with a partial payment and have the remaining balance due. If the client has more interest than the invoice balance, the invoice will be created and marked as paid, while the remaining trust balance will be updated to reflect the payment made through this billing batch. If you selected a case with multiple linked contacts with trust balances, the case will automatically be selected once the Applied Trust Fund checkmark is selected. This ensures trust funds are not incorrectly applied from the wrong contact. Finally, select the Create Invoices button to generate the invoices. After the invoices have been created, you will see the Batch Saved window. If you select the Continue Billing button, you will be taken back to the Create Invoice screen, where you can continue to create more invoices. If you select View Bills, you'll see a list of all the invoices created in that batch, or navigate to the Invoices tab and select the batches. This brings up the total batches created in my case and the date they were created. Select the date and the Actions button to export these bills as PDFs or print them out. You can also send invoice reminders or record a payment on these invoices from the drop-down button. In this video, you learned how to create batch invoices. In the next video, we will look at how to bring up any open invoice balances from a previous software system in your MyCase account. If you have any questions about batch invoicing, select the Get Help button at the bottom of your screen and type Batch Invoicing in search for help, or start a conversation by sending us a message.